You say all that now.
All right, I think we're good.
I'm fucking with you.
For whatever reason, it's reversed you though. So you're on this side technically on the screen, but I think we're here.
Let's see it.
Let's go, baby. So we're live?
It should be good. Yeah, I kind of
Are
want
we
to.
public?
I kind of want to pull it up. We're public, but I want to have someone pull it up. Let's see if we're getting.
Hold on. Oh, wait.
Mics.
Some just came up. Yeah.
Hello.
It looks good on here too. So
Let me see.
it looks right on
Can
here.
you see what I'm talking about? You're on the left, which is here.
No, but on here is right.
Oh, okay. That's on my side then.
So that's weird. It's weird. I wonder what that is. Well, all right. How we doing?
We chilling.
It's the Cares
We
None
figuring it out.
Video
We chilling.
podcast.
Yes,
I
it
am
is.
your host, Chris Cares None, and we got our co-host back, baby. What's up, baby?
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing really good. Can you just tell them really quick before we get to our next person how good that we just had a podcast in the car?
Yeah, we always have a fucking podcast in the car. That's every single time.
How about do we just have podcasts every time we
Yeah,
talk
we
real
just
talk?
podcast.
It's just a
Yeah.
podcast here.
It was
Tom,
like-
baby, are you back too, baby?
I'm in this bitch, dude, and we're live.
Hey.
Live for the first time. I think the first time maybe from the studio as a whole too,
Yes.
which is crazy because I've been doing this a little bit now. No one's like really asking about it, so I hope that changes. And now that it's this easy,
And this could be your thing.
well, this
Mhm.
was the thing, but it's just like I thought more people were gonna be interested in it, to be honest. But I haven't asked for a lot of
With the
requests.
live?
Yeah, like a lot of people,
Yeah, it's 'cause
they don't they seem to ask.
And I think a lot of people don't. I think most podcasts are not live.
I would
There's
say
only a few of the big
I would
ones
say so.
are.
I think it kind of makes sense though. You get like that engagement a little bit, and I mean, if it helps you with your workflow and stuff like that, then it's cool by me. You know.
That eliminates a huge pain point for me. Is uploading that shit and doing all that. And then when here's why I even came to that realization was, so I'm like, damn, man, the pain point I have is I don't want dude to do it.
Yeah.
But I also really don't want to do it either. Right? That was the pain point. So I'm saying, all right, and then there's always something, and I don't want to put my energy in uploading shit personally. So I was like, okay, so how am I gonna do it? Oh, we can go live, and then it'll just be uploaded right away. And then, you don't got to worry about nothing. But then you have to be okay with all the extra shit.
The clippings and all
It's
that
like,
stuff.
but then all the big podcasts, they go straight into it and they end it.
Yeah.
They handle it like not necessarily live, but straight through. So I'm like, I don't want to care too much about production. I just want to give the value, give the game.
Right. Transition your business, man.
And then you said that most people don't like that, or haven't necessarily.
I haven't had like the inquiries about it as much, but I do. Some slight bad news. I didn't ever go on the audio recording, so I'm gonna hit go on that.
Oh, are we live now?
We're live on this, but I forgot to hit on this, so I'm sorry about
so
that.
So wait, what'd they miss?
Just whatever you said at the beginning. Like the live has been fine. I know. I'm sorry. I know. Hey, the little technical difficulties, but I'm gonna hit go. Just all right, Chris cares. And let's actually get into it. What do we got to talk about there? Right? Let's go. 3, 2.
No, but seriously, how you doing? They heard that?
No, we're in it now.
Okay. Well, how you been, man?
I've been good. There's been some growing pains, some, you know how like you have some rules to yourself. You're like, oh, just like this is how I'll do stuff. I won't do stuff like this. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to other people, but you like in your head, it's like, I don't do stuff like this because I've had bad experiences. And then like you'll think to yourself and be like, you know what, maybe this time will be different. You know, like maybe this time it'll be cool and like I won't be pissed off and like it'll all just work out great. And then it ends up exactly like you thought. And you're just like, okay, goddamn it. And you get tricked again. You get fooled again. And so that's how I feel a little bit. Work's been fine, but I've just been dealing with stuff that is like a pain in the ass. And it's stuff that's like, I don't, it was my own doing. I'm not like, nobody's like mad at me. I'm not mad at them necessarily, but and there's just a lot of little things. I've had like a flood of, can you edit this? Can you change this one minor thing? That's like, that shit kind of bothers me. And it's like, it's difficult that I can't just hand it off to Colton or somebody else to do. So aside from that,
figuring out
life's good, man. Business is fine. Podcast studio's been going well. Got some travel stuff happening. Everybody's healthy, mostly happy. I can't complain.
Wait, and we got the boom mics.
And we got the boom mic. Show it.
Hey, look how, can y'all see that?
A new boom.
It matches the vibe
Shout
you got
out
going on.
to Blue Microphones and their Compass line here. Not sponsored, but if you guys want to send us 2 more, that'd be sick.
Because we need 2 more. That'd be dope.
Maybe 2 more here.
How are you gonna do that though? I guess one you would just have to, right? So you'd put it here.
I would do it there, but it's like those don't seem as bad on camera, but they're kind of like octopus like limbs, you know? So like 4 of them, it's a lot. And it might start to like get in this shot a little bit. So I don't know.
But I can definitely probably move over by.
Oh yeah, it'll work. It'll go over, like they'll scrunch up just fine. But I don't know. I just we'll see how 2 goes. And there's plenty of podcasts like this where it's just the 2 of you guys. So it's like, you know, fine. But like I said, they're $100-something a piece. So it's like I just didn't want to, you know, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
So just personally, I like when it's like this the best one-on-one in the shots, because then when you get most of the single shots, they're really good for the reels. Like this angle's really good for the reels, but then when you have the wide shot, it's not as good for the reels.
That is true. You want me to not even wide shot? Because I literally was just on wide shot for a little bit.
No, you get wide shot at times, you know, especially if there's a back and so the way I've been
watching the clips.
And you do it.
I
think that I think it's just a matter of you just learn people and shit.
Yeah. Well, and I know when you're like when it's a clip, you know.
And dude, Derek, I think that you know how so we're dealing with people through Fiverr, right? And sometimes when they're overseas and they work hard and they hustle, sometimes what the feeling I'm getting is the ones that I have dealt with don't necessarily understand what I understand, right? But then very, very rarely do you come across someone who like understands what you understand and it feels good.
Right.
So dealing with the Fiverr cats can be kind of sometimes, but dealing with the Fiverr cats can be frustrating because they don't get like, for instance,
cats. That's good.
The Fiverr cats.
The Fiverr cats.
That's a brand right there.
Right, I'm telling you. The Fiverr cats.
Yeah, the Fiverr fools.
The Fiverr fools.
Once you deal with those fools, I forgot what the hell I was gonna say.
Once you deal with them, you realize like how hard it is to
my fault. Thank you. So having someone else clip what you know to be like clips that would be clips that are clip-worthy clips,
right.
As far as editing and all that kind of shit, you have to have the same understanding. So when I gave it off before, and I left it free to just let him use his brain from over there, they don't have the same understanding, or at least maybe personally, him and I didn't have the same understanding of what was clip worthy and what wasn't.
Right.
So I was like, I have to go back and make my own clips until I find someone else who would understand at least how to put it in a situation where it's easy to make the clips.
Absolutely.
Even that, dude, I feel like there's just always a degree of your own personal stuff. Like I wouldn't like if I was gonna do a personal project for myself or like film something and want to edit it, like I don't feel like I could hand that off, you know? And I assume it's the same way with your brand that like, yeah, this is what I want to say. This is the vibe I wanted to have here.
Right.
And like, it's really tough to get people to like feel that quite the same, you know? There's something about looking at yourself on that screen sometimes that,
as far as like a branding?
No, I feel like it's like one of those like sayings of like, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself kind of deal, where it's like the second you hand it off, even if they're good, it'll never like be 100% what you want usually. Especially with Fiverr. Fiverr is always like, this was like 70% decent. Like, you mostly were there. So
I've learned that it comes with a lot of, you really have to put your management hat on though. Like you have to manage people into your vision. You have to be an artist with your shit. You got to kind of coach it. Like if you're that, but that's what the relationship is. That's what you're paying for, for your vision to be met with the same people. So I kind of have to do that a lot sometimes, but when you find your people, and I think that's a hard thing too, when you're trying to hit certain points and you want them to understand what you're saying on not only a cultural perspective, but from a damn, really what you own type of shit, like the whole cares none situation. So it's always going to be hard in that aspect too anyway, let alone it being an overseas situation.
Yeah, it's a little tougher.
And then when it's the first interactions, it's not necessarily going to be the person that's going to stick with you throughout either. Some people just here to get a little dollar. They don't know if you're going to be a return and all this other stuff too. So they don't know how much to put into you.
Yeah, that takes longevity, right?
Yeah, it takes longevity. But even if it comes with just understanding it's a whole cultural terminologies. There's so many things like when you're doing the subtitles and stuff like that. So
man.
So it's just certain things that you learn, but you learn it and you go through the process. Like, okay, maybe that's something it would have to be done in a different way.
Right.
But certain things.
That's a nice way of saying, nigga, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that's cool, but that's what it's for. That's why I like the Fiverr situation, because it helps you to shop for like what way works best and what would you want to put your energy into, but what could you really pass off And how much can you pass off to where it can be as good as it can be?
You ever think from Fiverr from this perspective? Let's say
Upwork too.
You get work from one of these gig economies, and then that you get one of those persons who are really boss, and they become something like where like the Fiverr would almost be beneath them to like that big of a brand. So like, how hard do you think it is to get to that point?
Not to cut you off, but I've done that. So I started doing video stuff on Fiverr. That's how I.
So are you still doing Fiverr?
No, but I do a lot of work through Upwork.
Okay, so
yeah,
okay.
Upwork,
like a good chunk of my business comes through Upwork.
Now, are there bigger brands? Are all the big brands still doing it then too?
Yeah. So I just found this last month. I'm not going to say who, but it's for a celebrity liquor company that hired me to do some stuff for them.
Off of Fiverr,
off of Upwork.
Upwork.
And
so Upwork so what's the difference?
That's what I was building my metaverse.
So what's the difference? What would you say the difference is between Fiverr and Upwork?
Clientele and like talent level. Like and Fiverr's trying. Like I know there's like a super premium option or like vetted professionals or something like that on Fiverr. They're trying to be a little bit more just higher ticket. But Upwork,
it has
Upwork
like
you can pay real people. On Fiverr, it's like, I want this for $100 or less.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it's kind of low shopping. Yeah, like my experience with it on the other side of it. Like when I use Upwork specifically, that I use the Talent Scout offering that they have. So what they do is we scheduled a meeting. I had a Google meeting with somebody. I wrote a little synopsis about my project, the metaverse and everything. He went out and vetted people for me, and then we set up a meeting. We had a 30-minute meeting. People trying to sell me on themselves, and I just showed him. I had a meeting with him later. It was like, this is who I want to hire. And then we set up the whole payment system and stuff like that. So it was like even that type of situation was like, damn, this is not like Fiverr.
So just like the serve everything about
it's just served a little differently.
It's like Target. It's like Target.
And Walmart.
Yeah, like it's big and everything. People fuck with it, but we all know
but
it's Walmart.
But you see how Fiverr sets it up. It's like
how often do y'all fuck with Walmart? Like real talk.
I haven't gone to Walmart in a long time. But everything.
They
don't have Walmarts in the city like that though.
It is like two,
right,
in all of Chicagoland. Two goddamn Walmart. So is that a thing? They're not in the big cities like that.
Hating Walmart?
No. I'm saying Walmart every day.
Well, in Chicago, it's been like that for a long time.
Yeah. So their whole thing is like
I think it's suburbs
you think suburbs and like rural areas.
Yeah.
Some of the Walmarts is like the main shit.
I think it's like
in
a square footage thing too. Like they just need like big plots. You know, like in the city, you can't have like a Walmart's massive.
But I think the big department stores is like it's something with the Walmarts they can't do the city because they could be in Chicago, but because this was a big ass industry in Chicago, the whole Walmart shit too. But what was I gonna say?
There's got to be something because Targets are all throughout the city.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But Walmart's are clearly
they're smaller though. Like if you go out to a suburb,
but you don't have to. You can just build your whatever you want to put it. It doesn't have to be a big ass.
And you know what? I went to Walmart.
But there are no
today
Walmarts at all. No markets. No nothing.
So there's like two, I think.
Right, but
they're like little neighborhood Walmarts, right. And you can tell they're like
they're not even Target size.
No,
not respectable. You don't just see a Walmart as. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I went in today. Actually, I went in there today.
Suburbs.
I had to get some motor oil.
Okay.
Oh shit! You could have gone to like AutoZone.
Some motor oil.
So I went to Walmart, and I'm like, oil. Oh, Walmart's got to have it. It's Walmart because Walmart got every motherfucking thing, right? It's Amazon, but if you want to get it right now,
it's crazy how they didn't transition to the online thing. Like,
but people still. Do you go to Walmart to buy shit?
I don't.
People do though. A lot of people do though. That's what's crazy.
No, of course
people.
Of course, people do.
But like
they doing all right.
And theirs is free though.
Oh, that's what I was
Amazon's is 15 or some shit, right?
My freshman year.
Well, that's a ship. Amazon doesn't have like locations that Walmart does. Amazon, so you got to pay for Prime, but like Prime, if you know Prime.
Oh, that's right. You don't. What
the fuck?
That's what. Okay, am I that crazy? Like,
you don't have Amazon Prime.
No, I got Prime. Okay. To me, it's worth paying, and I don't even use it that often, but it's worth having.
It is.
I don't know. It just feels.
The second not paying for shipping literally all the time is like, just take my money. Cool.
Hey, let's break that down. Why do I feel that way? Why do I feel like I know that I'm not necessarily getting the value for $15? What? Oh, sorry.
I'll illustrate the value, at least to me.
No,
what
I
see,
understand the value,
I
but
definitely illustrate the
I'm
value.
saying I personally don't think that I use the Prime memberships enough to be worth the $15.
Do you use Audible? That's not the part of the membership though.
And it's not, and I still pay for Audible books.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, canceled Audible the other day.
And that's another thing too. That's one thing they don't
I feel
tell
like they
you.
should put that in
then you
Prime.
keep you don't get to keep the books you fucking bought.
Well,
you don't
get to keep the books?
No, I got my books.
I don't think they give you the credits though. Like any credits that you had maybe saved up. Maybe they delete your books.
No, I get my credits. I get my books. I get all. I don't know what the fuck.
From Audible? And when you delete it,
my stuff builds up over the months and everything.
But if you cancel,
I'm sorry, if you cancel it.
If you cancel, they'll kill your credits.
Oh, I don't cancel it. So
yeah,
keep it rolling. My bad. I got something good going. I'm trying to get educated, nigga. That's a good investment.
He was saying he didn't want to get educated no more.
I wanted the option. Actually, I probably got like.
I just wasn't using it, man. I don't know. Like I'm big into self-help books, which I hate is not the
like
correct
physically
term.
reading them.
Not fucking on Audible, right? Why do you get the physical books on Audible? No, just listen to the audiobooks. But like, there's not a lot of times in my life where audiobooks make sense. You work out a lot, which I want to talk about. But like, I don't, and so I'm either playing games, fucking working, or just don't have my headphones on. So the times that I would listen to a book like that is very few. So it was just for vacations essentially. And 2020 happened, and I haven't been on a vacation for a decent amount of time. And I just don't like. I'm not one of those people. I know it's not as part of the challenge, to read a certain amount every night or something like that. I don't have that, so I'd be not using it. And Audible, it's like there's something about just seeing that $8 every month on your bill.
I hear you. Especially if you don't feel like you're using it, right?
Exactly. I had so many credits. I had like 12 books worth of shit.
Yeah.
But that proves the point. To you, the value wasn't there.
Right.
For that.
And that's okay.
To me, I agree that I'm not really using Amazon Prime, but I still feel like I'm getting value from this brand. Even though I'm not really, because I don't really use it enough to be probably worth the $15 a month.
Right.
But for some reason, I'm comfortable with I wasn't that comfortable with Audible after a while. You cancel that shit. But with Amazon, it's like I feel okay, take it.
Dude, Prime with me, like I don't order that much stuff, but
when you do,
they will ship the fuck out of it.
Yeah, it's the convenience is always there.
Most likely,
and they have the shit that you're gonna want and need. So it's like, and you know it's gonna be.
You use it a little bit more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I got credit cards in and everything. Okay, get 5% back every time I spend it.
That's actually I thought about getting the Amazon card.
Why? That's part of you can lessen your bill pretty much with that $12.99.
That was I did think about that. I haven't had a credit card in a long time, but dude,
I mean that would be a good system to go through if it's 5%
so
on every
fucking
purchase.
quick. You order something, there's some things that it's like we'll get it here tonight.
No, I ship something. I ordered something at 6 a.m. and got there at 10 a.m.
3 hours.
What I got.
That's what I'm
4
saying.
hours.
That shit, and you almost feel bad. You're like, please, I don't need it that much. Like, there's times that I'll
select. Where you even feel bad?
I feel bad.
I do.
Why would you feel bad about efficiency?
Sometimes I don't even know if it's that, dude. Like, I'll order a bunch of things. So like, we can ship this all to you now, or like, if you will let it come on Thursday, it'll be like less boxes or something like that. And I often, as long as I don't need it, it's like. Cool. Cool. Because like
that's a
I don't
moral
need
question.
You guys like this guy pulling up in his Honda Civic to like go in his trunk and like pull out this one thing for me. I was like, dude, just chill. Like I don't even want to support.
What if you get
this.
paid?
But he's getting paid. See y'all.
I don't know, man.
Bro, it's okay, but we're ants. We have to build, y'all. Like we trying to all make it out here. What do you not like? Guys,
I don't know, dude. I think
people trying to hustle out here. Like, what do you want people to do? Steal shit?
Fuck, you guys can. I'm not gonna contribute.
No, it's no.
Sometimes I do.
No, that's good. That's good. That's kind of a thing with society, though. It's like, bro, we gotta fucking live. Like people out here stealing shit. If not, like,
wait, some people are doing worse. They're killing
shit. Motherfucking PNB Rock just got killed yesterday.
Yeah, what happened? What
he was in Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle, chains on everything and whatnot. And dude came in trying to rob him for his chains. No, bop, 2 in the chest.
Gone.
Dead 30 minutes later.
How old was he?
30. Off of just that, and took his chains off and took his rings off and actually robbed the man. So
what do you say to that person who says, for the sake of argument?
There you go. Let's rest in peace, PNB Rock.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's a good point. No, but there's gonna be some people who say like, if you know, and shout out to him, but if you're wearing jewels, are you setting yourself up for people to do that?
Of course you can. That's the thing, but that can go to a deeper situation too. But rest in peace, PNB Rock, man.
You know what's crazy? I didn't really listen to him a lot, or at all. To be honest,
PNB Rock, man.
Well, I'm like, then listen, I'm gonna sit here and lie. Like I was bumping his shit. Like, no, it's the truth.
Oh man.
I don't really like other than what you just said. That's all I know. But I knew the name.
Me neither. But I was more so like it's just about the situation, man. Like that.
And like it's like what would make someone want to go to someone else and take their shit?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Creating opportunities. I just don't feel like it's bad to just. It's not always bad to have people with other opportunities to make money, and if it's in an efficient system, like we just
I'm
back to that.
I'm confused. Why you feel bad about that?
I don't know, but I want to go back to this other guy. So this guy got his like jewelry chain. I saw that some guy died. He's like a rapper or something like that.
Yeah.
And so what?
Yeah, that's on every day we live. You can.
Oh, that was it. Okay, that was it. Oh, yeah.
He was on
a fire song.
Robbed and killed.
Yeah.
For his jewelry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess apparently, well, this is what they're saying, but apparently he was with his girl and they were at the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, which is a very famous spot, soul food spot. And she snapped what her location was and whatnot for social media. And apparently that could have been a way that they knew, or it could have just been somebody seeing him in LA because it's been real hot in LA, like in every single part of LA. Mariah Carey just got robbed, or her house just got invaded.
How much money was the jewelry
worth? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was tens of thousands of dollars, I'm sure.
All right, tens of thousands isn't that crazy, but like jewelry to a certain degree is so stupid. Like if you can't afford security or like you're not at that level, like you shouldn't have $100,000. So like Mayweather, you can wear $1 million watch because he's got people and he's gonna like,
That's a good point.
He travels by private. He's legit, like again, at a certain level, you're a billionaire, like big time baller. You wear whatever jewelry you want. A lot of money, I think it's stupid still, but like you can get away with it. But rappers, it's like guys that like their net worth is like half in that jewelry and they just wear it out like nothing and they're just like going to 7-Eleven and shit. It's like, dude, it is such one of those like easy things to take. So like a car, right? You spend $500,000 on a very nice Lamborghini and stuff like that. People can't just steal it and get away with it so easily. Like there's a title, it's a massive thing. You can't just take it. It's more difficult.
And they got shit in it now. Probably guarantee you can't steal it.
You just wait till this guy goes in the back alley, pull out a gun on him, rip that shit off his neck and walk out. And it's like, bring it to some pawn shop. They'll take it like that. No questions asked. There's no tracking. There's no tracing anything. Like, so tens of thousands, I don't want to say like, RIP to this guy. I didn't know him, but that sucks. But it's like, that is kind of, it's like, that's stupid. You're not asking for it,
you gotta understand. Okay, you can say that, but you have to understand the environment that this dude is coming from and why he would do that. Like he's coming from nothing, and he's like when you grew up in that environment I guess he was in the penal system at one point, coming from Philadelphia, all this other stuff. Became homeless at one point, then became this big rapper with this top 13 hit in the country.
He had a dope ass story.
Right, he has a dope ass story, just like a lot of us can have too. You know what I mean? Right. So he had a rags to riches type of story. And he gets killed for being a person that's kind of how they are in that environment anyway. For whatever reason, when you have that rags to riches, that's just how you walk in your shit. You walk as a king in your shit, and this is the way that you do it. So he felt comfortable, unfortunately, in an environment around some soul food and whatnot, which is his home. You know what I mean? So, and it just wasn't that.
If he was his best friend throughout the whole of his 20s, would you have been trying to teach him a different way or just watched it unfold?
Teach him a different way of what?
Like, because I feel like if you're wearing jewels, like the way Mayweather wears jewels.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think he's coming up from a rap culture. And when it's specific to the rags to riches type of way in which he came through like a penal system and stuff like that, that's part of the flex. That's part of not even the flex, the crown. That's part of the trophy. I heard somebody say that today. That's part of the trophy necessarily for them. It's like, this is, I really made myself from $0 coming out of jail at one point in my life at 20 years old, having a kid, not knowing what I'm going to do, to 30 years old where I'm able to wear something that is a valuable piece, just like the Queen Elizabeth would fucking wear. That's like, why can I see myself as that? Right. And that's what that story is. So it might be stupid to a lot of people, but there's a reason for this shit. Right. And because of that, that shouldn't even matter. He still shouldn't get his fucking life taken. Right. You know what I mean? Like, because he's trying to be a king in his shit. However, that's an even more fucked up part because that's a societal issue as to why this man would even just risk it all for this shit and open camera, the most famous spot, soul food spot in LA. Right. Like, you obviously about to get caught. Like, what's going on in your society right now? So it's so many.
And that's like a way deeper
right.
issue.
So it's always easy to say it's stupid and shit, but it's deep, man. And that shit can go.
So I think stupid is definitely the wrong word, but I would definitely say,
All right, listen.
I would say fucking moron is definitely
dude. And if
the
you just
wrong
got
word.
beat up, it'd be like, well, I'd be fine with stupid.
Let's hear you
the poor
fucking
guy,
no,
like
respect.
I
Shout
know,
out.
Yeah, shout out. But listen, I hear you too. Like I get that, but that's a lot. That's a lot. Like you want to wear a Rolex and shit, like Rolex. I mean,
no, I would. I'm not that type of person.
Sub 50 grand.
But there's a lot of people that
there's an industry for fine jewelry, man. Like people really are into fine jewelry.
It's just it's not a part of my life, and for that reason, I'm out. So
right, and it's not a part of my life either. I wouldn't be walking around well, actually, it is part of my life because my shit is fine jewelry to its gold. So I get it to a certain extent. I can't do that, but no, I wear the same shit.
As a person who has bought fake jewelry before,
me too,
for the purpose of trying to pretend like it was real.
I hadn't cared before, but I see
you. Just personally, my own personal experience.
That's good that you said that, though. Yeah, that's good.
No, I was, oh man, I'm so open about that.
I love it.
And what I was doing was trying to create something because I didn't believe that I was good as is in my current situation, being a fucking human, right?
Right.
I was not okay with that. So I had to get this facade and wear things like jewelry to, if I'm asking myself this question, why was I doing it? I was doing it because I wanted to feel bigger than I actually, like I wasn't okay with how I was. I had to do this to get to a better feeling. And personally, when I wear stuff, that's what it's doing. Especially if I'm doing it for that purpose, I'm trying to express that.
Right.
So it depends on the person. If it was me, it would have been wearing jewels for the wrong reasons.
Right.
If it was me, in my assertion.
And I look at it as like a human way of flaunting yourself, like expressing yourself. It's like you put on that Cares None, that's your jewelry pretty much. You know, you wear your beard a certain way, that's your jewelry. Like that's how you feel about yourself. That's what you want to express to the world. So I think jewels is just something that we've used that's shiny and nice and whatnot to be like,
because it's rare,
right? It's and they've turned into rarities and whatnot like that. But it's just a way to like it's just a way to play with it's just a way that humans have created a way to create their story for themselves. It's just another way of it, and there's the fine art world to it, you know, a fine piece kind of world to it too. So I get it, man. It's just different ways that we've just learned to express ourselves. Podcasting is one, jewelry is one, art is one, technology is one. So we really just expressing ourselves, man. It's just sad that societal shit gets in the way to a motherfucker got to kill somebody over it.
Yeah, because he
over
wanted
self-expression.
He
got killed over self-expression and eating a fucking waffle.
And then the guy choosing to do the killing wanted.
Well, okay, hang on. Self-expression and like.
Go ahead.
He's saying you're saying by wearing the jewels.
Well, no, it's like that's his right. He should do it. He shouldn't for wearing jewelry. I don't care if you got $1 billion worth of jewelry. That doesn't mean that you should go out and be like killed, right?
Of course.
But like self-expression, you looking like this today is self-expression, and that's fine. That's not necessarily going to get you beat up or attacked. It might get you judged or something. But like,
yeah, anybody about to rob you for your fucking stuff.
Like 10
depends on what decade.
Wearing a lot of money.
Depends on what decade you in.
Yeah, niggas is wearing skin.
But a lot of jewelry, I don't know, dude. Like again, it's like you are running the risk a little bit. Like whether you think about it or not. Like it's self-expression, but you're not asking for it. That's not the right term either. But
because what if I was a lady and I was wearing?
I know, but you're opening yourself up to dangerous situations.
Absolutely.
You know, like it's. I think there's no way around it. So that's
factually speaking.
No, absolutely. But that goes into the full other issue. I think that it's a connection. Of course, we're talking about two things, but you're going into a whole nother issue of it. I feel like yes, I think I'm going through it from. Kind of this, I guess what I'm trying to express is like just the value and the quality of the whole jewelry thing and whatnot, I guess.
No, and I guess he shouldn't have been killed.
Of course not.
Right. What I'm saying is that yes, it's a problem. I'm not saying it's not a problem. It is a problem. Like he should know to protect himself better, either security or to not wear that in that situation in that neighborhood. Absolutely, I understand that. I come from the shit. I would never do something like that. Like that's I know where I am. I know my environment very well. However, that still is a deeper problem though. That's all I was just trying to say.
I agree with
that.
that.
I'm leaving it at that.
Chris, I want to hear about. I know I don't want this whole podcast to turn into the hard 75 challenge,
KKK,
but like, are you almost done or what?
With what? The KKK thing? Or done with what?
The challenge.
Oh, my 75 I finished. Yeah,
that's what I was about to say. Like I do.
Oh, okay. So the last podcast, you and D were
I wasn't
out.
here. Yeah. But
and
you finished. I know you were close. I think, right?
Yeah. So I actually got this idea for $1 million worth of game first, and what I'm noticing, I don't know. I didn't see if they go live for the first episode, but they definitely clip the fuck out of each episode on Reels, right? And I'm starting to just see them everywhere. And I said, so now go on their page, and I see that like most of their content is coming from clips of. Actually, it's all the clips of the reel, and that's the easiest thing to get content that was already created once. So I'm like, oh, maybe I got to put more energy into clipping a pretty high quality podcast.
I've done more, yeah.
Huh?
I feel like I've been seeing more.
Yeah, because I put more of an emphasis because that's the fastest way to get more people to see a good product coming together.
That's fair.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta get that shit out.
Yeah.
So clipping it up, I got that from $1 million worth of game, and then I started seeing other pages I saw a lot, and I would go on their page, especially on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, so that's the game. The game is you make one long form of content if you're in a social media game to make it easiest because you got to make content all the time. That's the key. You got to be making content, which makes sense. The longer you're making content and you got people staying on the site, the more they're getting paid. So they're rewarding you for that shit. Fair. So like I gotta make more content all the time. It's like that's a lot of content. Then they say you got to be the content. Stop trying to create the content. So I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. So live your life and that can be your content. And then I'm like, oh, people that have podcasts, especially high quality ones that can be seen, that you're proud for it to be seen, or not even. There's podcasts that are killing it with just two dudes sitting on the porch. So and when they're all doing the same thing, they're taking the long form content and they're clipping the fuck. Then not just 2, 3, they're clipping it. And think about it. Most people will go straight to that before they would go look at the full podcast. Mm-hmm. They're gonna binge your clips for a while, right?
Oh, no, I'm a Reels boy. Yeah, I get that.
Reels, TikTok, YouTube is you gotta put your shit on YouTube.
Shorts. Oh no, I watch shorts are better than Reels in my book. Like technical. I don't know what the terminology is these days, but like the YouTube app, the version of Reels
right.
I watch more than the Instagram version of it.
Okay, what about, do you watch the TikTok version ever?
No, I don't even have TikTok. I don't fuck with that. And I feel like most of the good TikToks get over to Instagram, but yeah, I don't do TikTok.
So here's my advice. TikTok has the best algorithm.
It seems like it's the best for like growth, but I don't care about that as much.
Wait, hold on. And then wait, I just found this out. They're about to change the game. These motherfuckers thinking way bigger than social media. They're thinking search engine. So instead of people going to Google to get a review, they would go to somebody's TikTok and it's a real live review of it. And you can see the video portion of it. And you can go on. And I was like, let me see if people are actually doing that. Go TikTok right now and click whatever restaurant you're at ever. And then do Chicago, whatever the restaurant is. And there'll be people who've TikToked it. And then people are gonna start making content around that. You're gonna get paid for, I'm in Chicago making content and all you do is get food. So my point is that the TikTok has the best algorithms, and it's the easiest way to get an audience, I think.
Yeah.
So and they have the best way of curating your feed. So your For You page, my shit is so like they figured me out so good. Actually, I think all of them are getting like great at it because it's the algorithm. They know what you like.
Bro, they're so quick on it though, dude. I noticed today I watched. There was sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead. No, because I'm trying to understand.
There was a clip at like Walt, I don't know, not Walt Disney. That might not be right. But it's anyway, it's like, from Finding Nemo, the turtle Crush. There's some exhibit.
Like that nigga.
But anyway, there's like a live, yes, exactly. But there's like some live thing where like they'll put them up on a screen and like there's a voiceover guy in the back that does this voiceover. Like the kids sit down and talk and be like, hey.
What is it on?
I don't know, but I've been watching on like Reels basically.
Reels. Okay.
And so anyway, like again, I watched one of them because I was like, that's kind of cool. Like they, it's like real time. Like kids will ask a question and like he answers it in his voice.
So the hook, it got you. What was the hook?
I watched it. No, I just watched maybe like one of them. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool and stuff. I didn't like it anything, but then like I noticed a couple more. And it's like
they
came so fast.
They're
where I was
good,
like,
bro.
no, you say it's good. It's like, and I don't listen, guys. I don't care about this that much. Like shut the fuck up. It was cool the first time, but now they'll just like keep flooding it, and they probably milk the. They just do a dozen clips a day of the SeaWorld exhibit, whatever it is. And so no, the algorithm's okay. Like, but it's like sometimes you'll like something like one time, and then it's like that seems to be all you see.
Yeah, I feel like YouTube's pretty good at that too. I feel like
maybe that's where I see more of them. Maybe it's YouTube, maybe it's Instagram.
I don't really. I'll get lost in the shorts. I'll get lost. They all get an equal amount of my time because I feel like, and maybe just where I've pressed the likes and I've stayed on the longest because they all got 55,000 data points on all of us, so they all know what's perfect, right? So they figured out that on TikTok, I don't know what happened, but it's mostly the inspirational shit. And then if I go to YouTube, it's like mostly Andrew Tate shit now. But then when I go to Facebook, it's basketball and cooking. Like a lot of basketball and a lot of cooking on Facebook, but none of that. And it's crazy how they're all vying for different pieces of my attention, and all of them are good at figuring out, okay, we got them we ain't got him on the football, but we got him on the basketball. And then so I go to each one for like my fixes of shit. And it's crazy how like that's part of who you are. Like, I'm gonna get all my shit.
Social network.
Yeah, real talk. And then you realize how fucking deep you in. And then there's 1,000 other ways to be connected to it. That you like. I'm not on Twitter, but that'd be another way you'd be super LinkedIn, connected to all that shit. And there's more and more every day, right? And you create your own and shit. So then it's just one big fucking web of fucking
digital
energy.
Age, yeah.
Digital age. It's fucking crazy. No, but we were talking about.
I was about to say, yeah. So, how do you feel? Do you continue? I mean,
with the challenge?
Yeah, or like, what? How do you feel? I mean, because dude, that sounds like a big ass achievement. Congratulations.
No, I think it was dope, and the main reason it's dope, and y'all weren't really here for this, so I'll keep it at a minimum because we talked about this the whole episode before. However, the main thing I got from it was that if I say I'm going to do something, you're going to do it.
There you go.
But for some reason, I have to, whatever that energy I had behind that challenge that made me do it, I have to reduplicate that for myself. And it seems like, the thing that gets me to do the thing I have to do is when I put it in challenge form, for me personally. Because when I put it in challenge form, those things get done, especially when I attach my brand to it. Because if I don't get them done, maybe I put this pressure on myself. Maybe I need that pressure for my story to unfold.
Right.
But it's like forcing me to figure shit out, especially so publicly. And I love that. That's like the game of business. And so let me ask your opinion. Is what's the biggest game ever? Is it life? No, I'm serious.
That's because I was thinking about this. That's a Chris question, right?
Yeah. We gotta get one of those.
Like business is a game.
Then I guess life would
Trump business.
I like life. I mean, that's all we know. Is
like
life.
What love? But see, life feels like the main.
I think life covers all.
Life covers all. Right.
Right. It's all we know.
So that's like the biggest game of all time, right? Fucking life. It's that legit. And then you can like create and do your own things. It's crazy. But then the next big game feels like, at least from my perspective, like entrepreneurship is a vicious. it's like it feels like life. Sometimes it feels like it's life. It is life. It's part of your life.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, we're gonna die in 50 years. So like that's life. And then what am I choosing to do in my energy in my next 50 years?
Right.
And it seems like it's business, it forces you, at least from my perspective. We talked about this in the car. From my perspective, by labeling myself an entrepreneur, and especially so publicly, I have forced myself to always aim in that direction and beat the temptations the most, as much as I can, like fight those demons. So then the other people who aren't even close to that, they can see my story and say, "Oh, okay, he can do it." At one point, like so, I had a couple people who did the Cares None challenge, right? Shout out to the people who are doing the Cares None challenge, which is super dope.
Yeah, it's cool.
Change different clothes, which we're trying to do. Like what other kind of things? That's how I'm transitioning, or at least a part of it. But a couple people hit me up like I didn't complete the challenge, right? But I'm on it. I'm not okay with them not completing it because I want them to complete it. But at the end of the day, I know people got to go through the shit like I did at one point, you know? So I have to also be aware that there's a reason why they're in here, and it is tough. Because if it was, everyone would just get there. Some people go, I'm getting emails like I fell off. I was like, but now where my brain is, I'm like, how could you fall off? But it's like, but you fell off a lot before. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with your cool, you know, you think you the shit. Like, nigga, you used to be vicious. And just because they're not necessarily, and I want them to win, and I get frustrated because I'm like, man, I want y'all to win if you just dig deep. But then I have to also understand that you don't just dig deep from jump. The fact that they're even trying to fuck with this challenge, it's better than 99% of motherfuckers. Because most people that are interested in doing something, they're not even gonna do the challenge. They're not even gonna like, no, I'm not doing that for whatever reason, right? But then you get the few people who are like, I'm gonna do it. That's already puts you in a certain category from those and the rest of people on earth who wouldn't. Not all those people are gonna 100% do it. But the fact that they even try, I still respect them. Like, okay, you're not to the point yet where you're beating all those, and neither am I. But you're also still trying, and I respect that. And I think some people like, if I don't accomplish it, I'm failing. It's like, no, you gotta fuck it up because like, we all fucked up at one point.
Right.
Like, let me ask you, Tom, when you first started business, would you say there's a good amount of fuck ups?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I don't really think everyone was like fuck ups as much as maybe just like,
What
damn,
could
that
be
wasn't
better?
as smart. Yeah, just yeah, exactly. Just like I could have gone.
Okay,
about
that's
that
probably
maybe
more
a
what I'm
different way,
saying.
or it's usually like I don't even want to say like total fuck ups as much as just like it's just kind of learning on the go. Where it's like it's not like one of those things where you fuck up where it's like people notice or like a client was pissed or something. It's more of just like I was wasting my time doing that. I didn't realize, you know, or like I didn't think about that correctly and I didn't realize. So it's like not quite a failure, but like I don't know, just a
I think
lesson
either
to some
it's
degree.
probably something. Yeah, it's like a lesson. Like either things are repurposed for a later date, or they're just a learning lesson. Is okay, don't go that route. You go this route. So it's just all part of the story that you're building within business.
You learn things from everything,
Yeah.
you know, and like sometimes where it comes from is like strange, but the lesson that it teaches is like
But you have to be building,
you know, like you're like,
at all
oh, yeah, I
times.
noticed it here, but
What about those people who I've heard people tell me, and I guess we are talking to them. We're talking to all people. Some people like are so comfortable not in that mindset. Like some people have told me like, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want the responsibility.
some people, man, that's most people.
Okay, so yeah, you know what, right? That's what I guess maybe just my
Or
personal
they just
circle.
don't. I don't know.
My personal circle, I guess. All those maybe I just like this is my own little echo chamber, but my personal circle, none of you niggas would say that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's nobody who that I would spend any of my time, even like whatsoever, if I didn't think that you, especially as far as on some business shit, I'm definitely, what is the purpose if you don't feel you're creating something to some degree, as far as my ultimate respect in someone that I'm going to spend my time with. Because if I spend time with you and I don't think that you're going for something, one, it seems almost like impossible. But if I am, that means I fuck with you for some reason, because what's really important to me is that that person's offering value. And to me, value is seeing them like go after something.
Right.
Like that's a valuable trait. You know, it's valuable to see that Tom went and got these because he wants to improve his fucking, like he cares about his business.
He wants to build.
And then when I talk to you, I've added this big ass project, this big ass, and it's just clean and it's not no fucking around.
Right.
You just don't see that kind of efficient, passionate energy from majority of human beings.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're just not putting ourselves in more circles. Or maybe personally, I'm going to speak to myself. Maybe I'm not putting myself in enough circles where people that are more like-minded.
I think it's more easy for us to live in the tribe that's already set up called America, and the kind of the way in which it's done, like the regular work schedule type of shit, rather than going for the independent route, entrepreneurial route, being a worker more so than being an owner. I think that's more laid out for us rather than the path to entrepreneurship and how to do that more easily. So I think
it
that's
is easier, right? Especially the society.
It's easy to go apply for a job and go work somewhere real quick, and it's just the process. Like you putting your time and energy in for their thing, their quality assurance or whatever.
Right.
Whether that be making a burger or selling insurance, you know what I'm saying? Like unless it's not yours, the time that you're putting, the energy that you're putting into it is always going to be the energy to build something that's theirs. And you got to trade your time with family time. Like I just left my whole cousin's 14th graduation with my grandmother.
Like with loved ones in general.
With loved ones, right. But I can put that on my time now, because I'm going this route and still just got to sell 30 minutes ago now that I set my website up and whatnot, But like just trying to learn that system of creating entrepreneurship is not something that's as readily available around us in the typical setting. Like we drive down the street and you can see how much that's not ready. But you can see at the same time the ownership of it. We're just not putting the like information of the ownership part of it. Like you'll see a store that's walking down as you're walking down the street, and you got all the workers in there. So we see that all the time, that exchange, but we don't really get to see the exchange of the owner and how he got that store. So that's not readily available in our face, but we can interact with the worker part of it all day. Restaurants, hosts, and what we're not, all that good stuff we just left in the restaurant. So
it's almost because like those people don't want to be. It's like you almost want to curate your environment, so you only put yourself. Like for instance, being in a country club, and it costs $50,000 to be a part of it. Like there's a reason that you do that is to create your own club of like-minded people, right? That's what I like ultimately.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And to keep pretty much the pink. Because listen, okay. We don't want broke. We're letting whoever can get in, but we know that broke people can't spend $50,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you can spend $50,000, you can get in. And they know people can't get in. So then we might, or people who would never spend that, to them, if they got the money to do it, it makes sense because then you can create an environment where it's, we're thinking differently than, if you have $50,000 extra to spend in a club, I would imagine you're having bigger conversations, big talks, that you're not going to waste your time to what you believe is like not where you're at.
Right. I mean, you're going to play a different role that you feel that you have more value in talking about at that time. I mean, it's just about time and value at that point.
Right.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, hopefully what you're talking about will trickle down for the betterment of humanity, That's the goal, hopefully, but
yeah, we're still on that whole somebody's got to conquer shit, right?
Yeah. We still getting over this very
primal. Still
primal.
It's
still very, very much so primal still. Like it's a lot of shit that we're getting through. It can go up in the air though. It just depends. It just depends on what's.
Let me ask y'all both a deep question,
story, man.
I got a real deep question for you. Do you think technology is aiding in the troubles that we could be having as a human species?
I think we are a human species that going to create the technology. So, I mean, it's going to have its troubles regardless because it's us, it's not the technology. But there's always going to be troubles. But I think what is creating more value, is creating more value than not, just because of the information that it's providing. Now, there can be false information, but
you talking about like AI and shit like that?
No, I just mean like the information in general, being able to see something and know something relatively right away. That has never happened before.
Like right now we're going live.
Right, exactly.
I think just like, you're trying to get like information in general. I mean, to bring it back to entrepreneurship, where it's like, now is better time to be an entrepreneur than ever before. Because like there's so much information online on how to do things.
That's never really happened.
Where it was like before to like, okay, how do I, like run a barber shop, or how do I like start a clothing line? Like that information was like kind of, difficult to find. Like they even make books on this shit.
Or you had to take it to the library.
Or you gotta go to the
library. And then you had to get all the books right.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely wasn't going to the fucking library.
And so like having just information extremely accessible.
Hey, did you go to the library?
I have been to a library.
No.
For this.
Have you gone to the library to read a book?
Not in at least a decade.
So 10 years ago, you went to a library?
I mean, when I was a kid.
How old as a kid?
So I'm 28. So I mean, yeah, less than 2 decades. Not 2 decades.
I always forget you're not 100 like me.
Not 2 decades, but at least a decade. Yeah, I don't go to the library to look at things, but there, I assume what you're also getting at is like social media and shit. Like if that like pulls people apart, but like it keeps the distance up or the barriers.
I mean, it's a big question, man. Is the social media, like how powerful is that shit?
I think it's very powerful.
And you're talking like attention spans and stuff like that.
But I like the way you look at it, D, is because you look at it from this we'll deal with it within the human race, but look what humans have created.
I'm telling you, like,
so they created this thing that can change how they all do things.
Yeah, right away. Like you expose like a motherfucker. Like we all got to, as a group, democratize this shit, and it's just so new. Like this technology shit really is only 20 years old, really. Like as we know it.
When was the first internet? Like probably what?
Pretty
Like
sure
the
it was in
70s?
the 90s or something like
Like
that.
the very first Tom.
I can probably do that.
Yeah, let me see if we can do that. I'm going 70s.
96, 93.
My bet is the 70s was the very first form of the internet.
Probably some military shit.
That's what
I'm going 93.
You're going
like
93.
83, January 1st, which is questionable. On New Year's Day, on 1983, as the
I know it's something like that.
Other networks were created to provide information. Yeah, 83. Technically,
I
guess, but
the 80s.
I mean,
70s.
like, when was the first first?
I think it was like
Mac.
the 90s with the AOL shit.
First MacBook.
You got mail here.
Yeah, welcome.
What was the first Mac computer? First Apple computer?
Was it the Macintosh?
Macintosh, the big ass blue backs.
No, there was some before that.
backs.
No, they were like, no, that's how old I am. Even before that, they were gray. They were all gray.
The first one is 84. Okay, so 83, did I say was the internet, the beginning of the internet? So like, 1 year later. So yeah, the early 80s.
The personal computer?
This is the first, the
That motherfucker was big as fuck. So it was Apple?
It had 512K in space. Kilobytes for everyone that might
that motherfucker was big
or
as
maybe
shit.
not. Hang on, it's K. Kilobytes is KB.
That's like a phone.
The 512 was if you maxed it out, bro. If you
got that
optioned that
max.
bitch out, that thing had kilobytes, which is so crazy.
Because we were like, what's bigger than terabyte? Can no byte?
Petabyte, I think, is like technically is like a.
I got a new phone. It's got 10 petabytes.
It'll be like that, dude. That sort of stuff. I just built a computer recently. Like I think I told you, I'm having my current computer come here and taking the other one home.
Nice.
And like the cost of those things just comes down so much. Where it's like
it's a laptop
8
too.
Years ago, no, it's a desktop, but it moves so quickly. Where it's like. What was the terabyte? Like to get a terabyte, like I got like a super fast one, literally one that plugs into like the motherboard, where it's like it used to be very expensive and now it's like the same price as everything else. You get a flash drive, they used to be like 1 gig was like a big deal, like 8 gigs. It's like, damn, that's a big flash drive. Now it's like we'll put a terabyte on that gig on that fucking flash drive, like it's nothing.
All vicious,
and it'll be $50 at Walgreens. Like it's that part of stuff has been absolutely crazy, but.
Yeah, technology is a mother. What is it about? Is it why do guys tend to like the screen? Why is it? I feel like guys are more into the technology. Is that a thing?
I think it's like just toys,
What do you mean?
I feel like is it like maybe because we were indoctrinated to the boys like those fucking things and girls like tend to like Barbies and stuff like that.
I feel like the girls be on technology a lot though. They use social media and stuff.
So I guess it depends.
But my girlfriend doesn't like build computers and shit. Like I
That's
build.
what
You mean like build computers?
Just
and
anything
stuff?
technology. That's it. It's engineering, I guess. Technology.
Well, that's also because men have been able to be in school and get like training in that stuff though.
Yeah, but women are more educated now than men.
Yeah, but that's just happened. Like these opportunities just started happening not even that long ago.
Right. So you
I guess that's. I was about to be like, damn, that's maybe overstepping, but no, you might be right.
No, I'm definitely right. Like, I mean, what are you talking about? Like, they just got rights. They just got the right to vote 100 years ago. Right. They ain't about to have all these opportunities all of a sudden. No, like
I think
niggas making up for shit.
Cars, boats, and shit.
It's
Like those things are
and women turned up during World War II. Don't get it twisted. Like they were the ones building all these fucking planes and boats and cargoes and shit for that, while the men were off at war. So, like. They just, I think when opportunity, and then when the men came back, they got fired from all those jobs, and then the men went back into those industries. So it's just that the society chooses what role women gonna play when they're gonna play it. And right now we're giving them more educational shit because they're not doing those laborious works and shit. So now they're becoming like engineers and the first woman to do this, and the first, like it's 2022, and we got the first woman to still do shit. Like they just getting opportunities to.
Just like how like blacks were that what. Like
it's blacks, minorities, women are a minority, and I think people don't really understand that how like that's still a minority group. Like just like
as far as how they're being treated,
exactly.
Not as far as the numbers.
No. Of course, it's a minority group society, just like blacks are a minority group society wise, not by number. Well, not by number, of course, but more so by just how society is set it up. So it's the same situation for women. That's why they try to get the women's rights and all the stuff that
what about other countries?
Same thing. They got women's rights going through all of this shit. It just depends on what type of system you under. If you're under a more like democratic system, as let's say the West is, the women tend to have the rights to fight for their rights and shit like that because it's under those systems. But if you come from more mono-related systems, like, you know, a Russia or some shit, you might not have those opportunities. So it's going to be set up a certain way. So it just depends on what the society.
And it's not necessarily like, it's not, and here's what I'm learning, is like not really good or bad. It's just the way life kind of unfolds.
It's just where you so happen to be born in your tribe. And it creates the whole thing about how you're going to think about things.
Right, because so that kind of brings back to like what I'm good at is trying to, because it says is when you can overcome shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then what are you going to choose your energy on? Are you going to like make an excuse about it, or are you going to figure it the fuck out? And it feels like, I mean, some people say that's tough, but to me, it's the way to do it. It's like you got to either, especially, and I want to say especially as men, but I'm speaking for men, because I know there's a lot of men, including myself, at one point where you're just not getting the shit done that you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's like you have, if you got to be aiming at that. You like, especially if you decide, if you're content, then to me you're winning. But I've never really felt content.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, there's something. I don't know. And then my brain finds a way, and then the more I laser focus it, if I start to find things that will help the thing that I'm most focused on. But I like spending my energy in things that help me grow. You see what I'm saying?
Right, build
and create. And some people are just like, no, I'm good with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm good. I literally heard it. I'd rather come home and I want a glass of wine.
But it's a system for it already set up for them, man. So like it's if you live in a nice, let's say you live in a nice first world country, and you cool with the politics, you cool with the day-to-day life, you got your kids, you got that good. Okay, I'm balanced. I work for the man, got my check coming, I'm flicking on this TV. Some people, that's cool, man. Like and it's not a bad life necessarily, especially if you really are living in a nice quality, healthy lifestyle.
My question is, because then that means you're content.
Right, you're content.
But if you're not content and you're doing that,
then that's a whole nother ballgame.
Then you gotta start to make those steps.
Right, exactly.
And those steps can be fucking vicious.
Yeah, they vicious.
Those steps can be so vicious.
Especially the transition out of a content situation.
You mean like at one point where you were okay?
When you're content, well, I say when that content starts to turn into, like, I guess, boredom.
Or if you could get used to, like, I never really had like any sort of professional career. So like I've always been kind of like hunting more or less, you know. But if you spent 10 years working a job and then like hop out real quick to like start a business, that makes it more difficult, because like now you got a mortgage or a house, you got built, maybe a kid. It does make it more difficult. Right. So entrepreneurship is easier when you're younger. If you start younger, I should say.
Yeah, and here's the mindset with that, and a lot of people will take that and run with it and won't even try.
Yeah, I'm about to say I couldn't tell somebody that time. I'm sorry.
No. Listen, and I will tell that. Like,
it's not impossible, but
that's a thing that a lot of people feel.
It's a commitment you got to make, though.
My whole thing is there's a number of people on this planet that ain't enough. That ain't enough for me. For me, it's cool, but for me, that ain't enough. You cool, y'all good. So it'll register with those people. Because some people, and I want to get more and more, okay, because I get frustrated sometimes, you know? I'm like, how don't you understand that? But then some people could look at my situation and be like, how you don't understand that? So it's just a matter of our stories.
Absolutely.
Because who the fuck am I? This is just what part of my journey I'm on. And then there's no real like right or wrong. It's just part of the story. Even like the fucked up shit. As a matter of fact, the fucked up shit is actually, and it takes some real work to do this, is the good shit. And it makes no sense, because most people, I remember how I was, you run away from that bullshit. But if you face that bullshit, like that shit is way more, but and it's hard, and you gotta shift the question, and then you can't blame no one else for, you know, all the decisions you've made are that's who you are today based on all the decisions you've ever made. So, you know, and if there's anything about your life that you don't like, the truth is you didn't make the right decision. Whether it was harder for you or not, it might have been harder. Maybe your people, I get it. But you didn't make whatever decisions based on your situation. You made the wrong decisions if you're not happy where you're at.
Right, of course. You got that. You got that all the way. There's always that aspect to it, and then there's always the full social aspect to it, because we're human and we don't live just in a bubble by ourselves necessarily. It takes a lot of strength to actually get yourself out of a very fucked up situation, and a lot of people's experiences too. So, you know, but even for those that's not even very fucked up and it's just like, you know, lazy minded, I guess you can say, it still takes a little grip to get out of that. So it's a lot of shit that holds us back, man. And you just hope the motherfuckers you can provide something for people to get themselves self-discovered and to get out of that, you know?
What helps me with that is I feel like I'm also battling a lot of that.
Right. And you provide something for that.
And then I document it.
Right.
And like having the balls to just be able to document it, I think that gives you such a freeing, like, and because I put like all of my decisions, I put it out there. So it's like if I know I said this earlier, but it really forces me to really aim for whatever it is that I deem, worthy. And I think sometimes that might be my problem is I have these aspirations of big energy, right? But I haven't directed of where I necessarily wanted to go enough.
I don't think that's a problem.
I don't think it's a problem either. I just think that, but at some point, you're going to have to laser focus energy to get the biggest return on investment as far as your energy expenditure.
Well, as a person who's I try to put my energy in the right places a good amount too. I just always feel like it's gonna be a build, man. Like you putting your energy into different shit at different times so that it can become a part of your story eventually. So whatever energy you need to put into whatever, just go hard with that. It's gonna be part of your story. It's a piece of the puzzle. I'm telling you, like that's how I just built my whole website to myself. So just putting different parts of myself into that each part of my life. Something with modeling, something with music, something with the fucking metaverse that I got going on. Just different parts of the language shit. So
I see both sides of that. And one thing I in my head sometimes say is that like business and sometimes even doing things within my own business, I kind of imagine it what I call as a pawn push. Where in chess, I mean, you guys are familiar with the pawn. It's they ain't gonna do. It doesn't seem like they do much, But like if you progress them through the game, in the end game, they make a difference. And there are plenty of times that it's like, listen, I could get in there, focus on my queen, do some damage, and let's say the queen is a certain part of your business or your business as a whole, and you got to put other things to the side. But the game is not like one with a pawn push, but it's similar to like the NFL where it's like the game is kind of won in the trenches, like if that makes sense. Like it's not like the most glamorous, the thing you notice, but like if your offensive or defensive line sucks ass, you're gonna have problems. And
that's
so
kind of like
to your point, and to your point, it's like you got a lot going on. And sometimes I feel that same way where it's like, I did a little bit on this, a little bit on this, a little bit on this. Like everything's moved forward a little bit. Like I almost like that more than like this one thing got pushed super far, but everything else is where it was 2 weeks ago.
That's yes. Thank you.
That's what I want to push. I can see both sides,
and that's kind of my
you lose a little bit though, but
that's kind of my whole point in my brand with the Pretty Cool Storytellers is like I want to put this like this personal branding by creating different parts of yourself. Like you don't have to be the greatest at everything. You can just be the greatest you, which you are so dynamic. And at this day and age, it's so easy to become an entrepreneur. You can just put many parts of yourself, like little streams of just income on many parts of yourself and just discover yourself even more and more and more. Like you can just, the same thing that you did, find different avenues to just string together different skill sets that you have and monetize it. That's pretty much what I'm trying to show on my branding. So I just want to help people to do that. Like when I'm going to create a course and whatnot to help people do that. But that's kind of the essence of how I wanted to even spend my life. I never really wanted to be like a full-time type of guy, like into one thing, because I just feel like it's so hard for me to choose what do I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, no, I know I want to be me for the rest of my life. So why not work on all of that and find different ways to slowly monetize on that and put everything as part of that puzzle in that story? All of it is supposed to be included.
Chris, I feel like we talked about this, so I feel like you feel the opposite.
No, I mean, how can you argue anything he just said? I can't logically argue any of that. I would say though, if you believe in the whole energy concept like I do, at the end of the day, I believe first principles of everything we do as people is all energy, right? We talk about this all the time. So if you believe in that, I believe wherever you focus most of your energy at, it depends on what your end goal is. Or do you want this one thing to be this much further because you're putting that much energy to it? Or do you want all these other things to come up more gradual, but then you got more things that you've done? And I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I just think that this is the way you choose probably to do it.
Well, kind of like just knowing the mix too, right? Like I think it probably makes a difference for every person, but like, yeah, I think totally you could have, let's say, a business and you have like a hobby and a family, right? But if you put like 90% of your attention into the business, like it could pop off. It could do this.
Then you might lose your fucking family.
And yeah, and it's like, you lose a little bit, but it's, right. Or let's say you got a couple of businesses and it's like, which one do you put more attention to? It's like, listen, I could put more attention to this business, but like, it'll never fly as high as this other one, you know? So it's like, yeah, you don't want to let it die, but the other one could yield more results. And knowing the future is always difficult, right? So like understanding like, okay, if I do more time doing podcasts or doing this and doing that, like, is that really going to get me closer to my goal? Or would it be better off if I was trying to hawk more shirts, you know, or more merch, and trying to like do collabs with people and stuff like that? Like knowing the shortest path to get there is part of the struggle, and it's the most difficult thing to do in business.
Yeah, bro. I would, like we were saying, I know I mentioned that is life a game, but the business game, is it if you, in my opinion, in my experience, is trying to understand this whole entrepreneurship game, is it's going to force you to ask some real questions about yourself. It's going to force you to, because there's going to be, especially then, how do you want to run this business? And then you say, okay, so you really want to do it well. You're one of those people. Do you know how much work it's going to take to do it well?
Yeah,
and that's what most people won't even get past that question. They say, yeah, that's a lot of work. I don't know about that. And I don't necessarily blame them. I think the way as humans, we say, like, our system set up where you don't have to go that extra extenuous mile. But then you got the people who say, you know what? No, I'm going to go after that. And then understand that there's a lot of work coming up, and you say, okay, it feels like you better love what it is you're putting your energy into, because you're going to have those days where you're like, whoa, I got to learn that too. I got to fix that. I got to learn that. And it's like, oh, okay, this game's bigger than you thought. You going to keep playing? Because you cannot. It's set up where you don't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to. So it's like, Chris, keep that game up. That feeling is what they all fucking go through. Like that's a natural feeling, because if you didn't feel it, then it wouldn't be worth getting.
Right.
It's all about what you're investing your shit in. Like if everyone could go do it tonight, no one would give a fuck about doing it. But the fact that it takes a lot and years,
it takes years.
It's going to say. I mean, you were saying that too. This is a 10-year plan.
Yep, I did say that.
Which I think that's probably a big from what I've been reading. That's a big indicator of successful people, is how long term are they thinking. And it seems like 10 years,
a decade in advance. Then yeah, if you're thinking a decade in advance, you're trying to build shit for people. Like even right now, we're living off the ideas of people who were thinking about it a decade ago. You know what I mean? Like just think about crypto. That was a whole decade ago. Now it's one of the bigger topics in the world. So like we're still living right now currently off somebody's past minds.
There's some companies that I think that I've seen that are like planned out for hundreds of years. Like no joke. There's business out here that say, okay, 2150. You know what I'm saying?
They definitely got, plans probably in place. Who knows if I mean, I feel like
if something
changes
happens
so much. Yeah, I'm sure Blockbuster was planning. They had somebody looking at this date today and like, hey, we got plans for 2022. It's gonna be, and sometimes shit changes. But
how much time we got left?
We're an hour and 8.
Hour 8?
Hour 8, baby.
Oh, I didn't even know. Okay, I like the life. What y'all think about the life thing?
I mean, I didn't know.
I think it's working. Yeah, I think we did good.
So I'm gonna be able to. We'll talk later.
We'll talk later.
We'll talk later. Dear, where can they find you?
So I have officially launched my new site, Pretty Cool Storytellers. Thank you. Launched it Sunday. Got my first little bit of round of sales. It's felt pretty good. So go on there, search the site, prettycoolstorytellers.com. It's a site about self-discovery. I'm teaching in personal branding and self-discovery, and I am the art piece in which you can find yourself being motivated. And I'm gonna have a lot more content coming up. Got a YouTube series and some courses I'm going to be working on too. But for now, go on there, check out my music, especially for those who hadn't gotten to hear it. The Eric Body Beats Survive. You'll be able to hear that full song now. Yeah.
There we go.
Got a metaverse coming for you all soon still. Pretty cool bonobos. That's coming very soon. And yeah, just check out my fine art. You can check out this ass. Oh, also, I just got hired by DePaul University to do some modeling.
Nice. Look at that.
That's why I said check out this ass. But
you said arse.
Arse. That's a little German, a little Deutsch.
That's awesome though, dude.
But not
mine.
Just yep.
It's German, right?
Yeah, that's too. But yeah, just got hired there. So I'm just spreading my wings, man. Just really getting into my mode, really building my character and really figuring out different parts about myself. So pretty cool storytellers.com. That's where all my personal shit will be. It's a vibe.
Hey. Shout out to Eric.
Yeah,
I miss you, nigga.
Thank you. I miss you too, my nigga.
I have a website and a small business going. It's not nearly as cool, but if you look at ChicagoPodcast.studio, I mean, there's some stuff there. So, but Christopher, what about you, champ?
You can find me at caresnone.com.
Yeah. Go get a shirt. You know what? Hey, look, go get some merch. All right, come on.
Hey,
you think this is free? Come on, go
got
get
some challenges.
It
You need some things going. You need some motivation. Holla at my man. Like this is.
So actually, we talked about today, and I'll wrap this up very fast. I learned a new word today.
Talk to me.
Allodoxophilia.
Allodoxophilia.
Allodoxophilia. What that is literally the condition of fear of other people's opinions. It's a real condition. So I'm like, okay, I came to this realization because I've been trying to figure out this brand building, right? So trying to understand who I'm targeting. So here's the message of what caresnone.com will be. This is the main thing. We are aiming. Hold on, I'm high.
You got it, brother. We good, baby. Let's wrap it up, baby. You got it.
Just go to caresnone.com.
No. Bring that back. I like it, baby. What's that word again? You tell me.
Resilience.
No. The fucking word.
Allodoxophilia.
Yeah. Now, what the brand's gonna be? How's the brand gonna be attached to that?
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
My man.
I was about to say let that shit go too. The idea is we know we want to be the leaders in understanding not necessarily allodoxophilia, which is like a real serious condition, but there's obviously levels of that, and some people aren't, But let's be honest, man. We're letting a lot of people are not doing what they want to do because of other people's opinions.
It's true.
There's a market for that. There's a lot of people dealing with that.
8 billion.
So Cares None, and it's literally in the fucking name of the brand. Cares None is we're going to be the leader in understanding all of that, why it's like that, bring you in on the anthropological.
Yeah, no, you said that right.
Chris, don't
you just said that right. Anthropological.
I don't want you hurting yourself over here. With
no,
words.
Hey,
one word.
That man's tongue is motherfucker might be.
Yeah, I'm rapping.
I'm telling you, anthropological. He said that
anthropological. I did say that. And get you on as far as that concerned. But there's other things I could do. But the idea is to be the leaders in that space.
Right.
Understand it, offer value for that, help people who really deal with that, overcome that, give you resources and solutions so that you can design a life that you want. Because I know a lot of people are cool with doing just whatever, like we talked about earlier, and they actually do desire more.
Absolutely.
And one of the reasons why people don't do more is because of the fear of other people's opinions. You're scared to look stupid. You're scared to look dumb. And there's reasons for that. And I'm learning that. So my point is that is now the energy that I'm putting a lot of my mental focus on. So now I can pinpoint more of the audience is to understand that to its core. So when people come to me, I can answer it clean. Right. Almost taking the psychology class on that.
Right.
So, and I'm gonna put all the energy in that, and that's what caresnone.com is about.
There you go.
And you can get the merch. All that to say.
No, that was good.
That was wonderful.
And you can find me on any platforms at Chris Cares None. And that's it.
Yeah.
All right, let me get over here on the end. But Chris, do the send up.
Come on. Oh yeah. What I always say?
And as always, live. This is how we do it live.
And as always, Cares None. Nick. I was getting kind of high.